Yes, guys, yes, people, welcome back to Elijah Talks Football and welcome to another video. And I'm happy to say the Premier League is back after this month of having a Premier League winter break and last weekend and last week having the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. The Premier League is back and there's some midweek games kicking off. There's a midweek games this week starting tomorrow and end on a Thursday. And some really great news if you're in the UK. Eight of those games is going to be live on TNT Sports 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the big one they're going to do is Liverpool versus Chelsea because that is a big game this week at Anfield. Liverpool versus Chelsea. There's also some really good games as well, including a London derby between Tottenham, Brentford, Nottingham Forest against Arsenal. There's some really good games, Luton Town against Brighton, Crystal Palace against. There's some really, really big games. So, but the biggest one is the big rivalry, Liverpool versus Chelsea. Would that game end in a draw like it always been in the last seven games, or would Chelsea or Liverpool finally get that win? We should wait to see what happens on a Wednesday. So yes, I know this is a late one, so I'm just gonna make this quickly. So I'm not gonna take this too time because I don't want you guys to like miss the video and then go to sleep after, or you miss it, then you went to sleep. So I'm just gonna make this quick. But yes, before we get things started, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I am this close to getting 300 subscribers on my YouTube channel. So if you guys can do that before the end of January, that would be absolutely great. So make sure you guys subscribe, share this video, tag somebody, share this video to everybody so that they can, watch this video, like it if they enjoyed it. And let me know in the comments down below at the end of this video. Great, give me a disc with any of my predictions. And what's your predictions? Let me also know in the comments down below. So, and also don't forget to hit the bell notification so that I never miss ever my YouTube content, because tomorrow I'll be uploading a preview for Liverpool Chelsea. Then on Wednesday, live watch along and match reaction after that one. So you guys don't want to miss any of that one. So it's gonna be great. So yeah, if you guys can do those four things to me, like, share, subscribe, bell notifications, I'll be a very happy person. So without wasting time, let's start. So the first game kicks off tomorrow at the City Ground in Nottingham in East Midlands, and it is Nottingham Forest versus Arsenal. Now, Arsenal don't have a good record at the City Ground. Last season, they've lost 1-0, and now's the season where they had a chance of winning the Premier League, but they bottled it, and they've lost 1-0 thanks to Iwobi scoring that goal. And I remembered I predicted 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. I said Iwobi will score that goal. Guess what? I got the correction right of the goal scorer, and I got the prediction right at the same time. So yeah, 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. Because when they faced each other this time 2 years ago, Arsenal were out of the FA Cup when they lost 1-0. And when they faced each other in the 2018 FA Cup, Arsenal got absolutely destroyed by Nottingham Forest by 4-2. And that was a shock because Nottingham Forest won the championship and also win the Premier League. So yeah, Arsenal don't have a good record at Nottingham Forest. And the big question is, would Arsenal continue to not get a good record at Nottingham Forest? Because, like I said, they've lost three times. They cannot lose another one. And the reason why Arsenal need to win is because Nottingham Forest have played during the week. They played in the FA Cup. Yeah, Arsenal didn't. Their last game was a week and a few days ago. So this why Arsenal need to win that game. Now, this is a tough one to predict because at the City goal, Nottingham Forest are doing under the new no, but since Arsenal had the West, I didn't play. I think Arsenal win this game. So for this game tomorrow, my first prediction would have been 1-0 to Nottingham Forest, but I thought to myself, now you know what? Arsenal, they had the West, they beat Crystal Palace 5-0 when they had the West, so I believe that they will win this game against Nottingham Forest. So I feel like their record at Nottingham Forest will come to an end. So for this game, I'm going to go for it's so tough to predict, but I'm going to go for 2-0 Arsenal because I think they'll keep a clean sheet, close like they did against Crystal Palace. And I believe, yeah, that even though Nottingham Forest fans will be singing champions of Europe, you'll never sing that. I think also the players and the fans will be silencing the City ground. So, yeah, I'm going to go for 2-0 Arsenal. The goal scorers, I'm going to go for Bukayo Saka and Declan White. So those are going to be the two goal scorers for that game tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. kickoff, and that will be on JT Sports in the UK. So yeah, Arsenal 2, Nottingham Forest nil. Right. The next one is Fulham against Everton. Now, both of these teams played in the FA Cup and both of them are out. Fulham lost 2-0 against, and both these games were at home. Fulham lost 2-0 against Newcastle at home, and Everton lost 1-0 against Luton Town at their ground. So both teams have lost in the FA Cup. Now, listen, this game is also difficult, but Everton, their last couple of games hasn't been particularly that great. Whereas for Fulham, they normally tend to do well at Craven Cottage. So this is why I can see Everton like get another loss. In fact, let me see where Everton are in the league. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. And let me see where Everton are in the league because they need to win this game. Because they don't look at this, despite getting a 10-point deduction, which they should have had, you know, they would have, they're like 1 point above Luton Town. We've got Brighton. So if Everton need to don't to get in the relegation zone, they need to win and make sure that Luton Town don't. Otherwise, if Everton don't win and Luton Town beat Brighton, which I'm going to predict next, Everton will be back in the relegation zone despite them having a 10-point deduction. So and honestly, it can happen again. So things could get really worse for Everton, It really could. So Everton need to get this win. But listen, the Merseyside, Liverpool, they went there. They only managed to get a draw in the Carabao Cup. And yeah, if Burnley would have made that save for Luis Diaz goal or something like that, I believe Fulham would have had a chance. So listen, for Everton, it's difficult to predict because they're not really good in the last couple of games. So yeah, since Merseyside, Liverpool struggled against them at Craven Cottage, I feel like Everton would do the same thing. So for this game, I'm gonna predict. Hmm, I might predict a 2-0 Fulham, or something like that. It could be even more. Now I'm gonna go for 2-0 Fulham. Or should I go for 1-0? Because that's what happened last time. Yeah, I'm gonna go for 1-0 Fulham. Because I feel like um Everton will play low block, but I feel like Fulham tend to do well at Craven Cottage. So yeah, they did. They almost had a decent result against Manchester United, but they've lost. They dominated Chelsea, but they've lost. They beaten Arsenal. They drew against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. They beat Fulham at the Carabao Cup at Craven Cottage. So yeah, Craven Cottage, Fulham tend to do well there. So I'm gonna go for a 1-0 Fulham win. The goals go for me. I'm gonna go for Willian to score maybe like a free kick or something like that. So yeah, 1-0 to Fulham is gonna be my prediction for that game tomorrow. Right, the next one is Luton Town versus Brighton. Now, of course, Luton Town, like I mentioned, in fact, both teams have won away from home. Luton Town beat Everton away, and Brighton beat Sheffield United away 5-2. So both teams are in the fifth one of the FA Cup. Now, listen, I was going to predict like a draw, but the fact that Luton Town and the manager and the players are starting to pick up form, you know, I believe if Luton Town play really decent football from now until the end of the season, I believe they'll stay up because nobody would ever predicted that, even me. I think I had Luton Town to be relegated or something like that. I can't remember, but yeah. But I feel like if Luton Town continue to get a couple of wins, especially at home, then I feel like they will stay up. So listen, for this game, it's gonna be a tight one, but I can see a shock here. I really can because Brighton in the Premier League, their last game was against West Ham and they've drawn 0-0, and that was the first time that Brighton and West Ham ever drawn that game. So listen, going to Kemeth Road, it was easy, but now it's going to be difficult. So for this game, I'm going to go for Luton Town win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Luton win because, like I said, it's going to be very tight. But I think Luton, especially at home, are playing really good football. So for Brighton, I think like Pedro Neto will score for Brighton, maybe the penalty. For Luton Town, I'm going to go for Morris and Elijah Adebayo, something like that. So yeah, those are going to be the goal scorers for that game tomorrow. So yeah, I'm going to go for a Luton Town win of 2-1. Right. The next one is Crystal Palace versus Sheffield United. Now, listen, Roy Hodgson are also out of the FA Cup as well. So, yeah, look at that. Crystal Palace are just 5 points above the relegation, 5 points. And there's many teams catching up to them, the likes of Nottingham Forest and Everton. If Nottingham Forest win and Crystal Palace don't, then Palace will only be, and if Everton win as well and Luton Town win as well, they will be catching up to Crystal Palace and they could be headed to the relegation zone. So to me, Crystal Palace need to get that win. For Sheffield United, they're starting to pick up points in the Premier League, but in the FA Cup, they got absolutely destroyed by um by Brighton. And when each team met in the beginning of the season, it was 2-1 to Crystal Palace, or was it 1-0? So for this game, I see Crystal Palace beating Sheffield United again. So and listen, this game is at home, so Crystal Palace need to get this win under Roy Hodgson. Otherwise, he's under some serious pressure and he could potentially get sacked. And he's got the lowest win percentage out of any Crystal Palace manager in history. So yeah, he needs to win this game. So for this game, I'm going to go for Crystal Palace win of 3-1. For Sheffield United, I'm not sure who the goal scorer will be. I'm going to, but for Crystal Palace, I'm going to go for Eze, also Edouard, and I think that's it. I think Eze will score twice, and also Edouard will score for Crystal Palace. So yeah, I'm going to go for 3-1. I believe that Crystal Palace need to bounce back. I feel like they will, since this game is at home, and it has to be a must win. Otherwise, there's some serious trouble. So yeah, 3-1 to Crystal Palace is going to be my prediction for that game tomorrow against Sheffield United in South London. And then the final game on a Tuesday night is Aston Villa versus Newcastle United. And that's going to be a really, really big game. Now, listen, many people are going for like a Newcastle win because suddenly they're starting to really pick up form. But let's not forget, Newcastle still don't have a good record away from home. They still don't. Their last away win was against Nottingham Forest or something like that. I can't remember. Or is it Fulham? Something like that. So that's one thing. Another thing is that as Villa are still unbeaten at home, despite Sheffield United being the only team here to ever not let Aston Villa get the 3 points. That's the only team to do that. So listen, for this game, it's going to be a tight one, but I know it's going to be a really, really good game to watch. And I'm going to be definitely watching that game tomorrow. So it's going to be a tight one. I mean, I can see this being like a five-goal thriller, because Newcastle need to get that win. Because right now, they're in 10th place. They're in 10th place. And if they want to at least get into Europe, they need to start picking up wins, and that lot Chelsea pick up start to pick up wins and all that stuff, and many other teams as well. So Newcastle United need to get that win. But the fact that this is at Villa Park, and by the way, Villa need to also get that win, because if they do win, that means there will be 3 points, sorry, 2 points behind Liverpool, which have do got a game against Chelsea, which I'll get to that in just a minute. So it's a must win for both teams. But yeah, this game is at Villa Park. So I expect this to be a thriller like it was when these two met at St. James Park. So for this game, I'm going to go for 3-2. I feel like it's going to be a 5-goal thriller. I feel like Aston Villa will get the 3 points to get the job done. For Newcastle, the goal scorers, I'm going to go for Dan Burn and Alexander Isak. For Aston Villa, I'm going to go for John McGinn and Oli Watkins to score twice. So that is how it's going to be. So yeah, 3-2. It's going to be a very good game. Hopefully it is, and not a boring one. So yeah, I feel like Aston Villa is going to get the job done. It's so difficult, but listen, this game is at Villa Park, and Aston Villa are still unbeaten at home despite Sheffield United, allowing Aston Villa to drop points at home. So there we go. So yeah, 3-2 to Aston Villa is going to be my prediction for that game on Tuesday, and that's going to be a late one. So there we go. Right, moving on into Wednesday's game. So the first one is at 7:30. It's at the Etihad, and it's Man City versus Burnley. Now listen, I'm not going to be talking about this too much because You know my prediction is for that one. And you know, and when these two face each other at the Etihad, it's always been a scoreline 5-0. I'm gonna go for Man City 5, Burnley nil. Because then these two face each other last season, the FA Cup, they beat them on the facing company. Every time Man City and Burnley face each other at the Etihad, it's always been Man City 5, Burnley nil. And that's gonna be the exact same thing. Because I think Erling Haaland, we're still waiting for him to be back for Manchester City, but Kevin De Bruyne is back, and you know what he's going, and you know what he's like when it comes to like starting games or being off the bench. He can score goals and create assists. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Man City 5-0. The goal scorers, I'm gonna go for Kevin De Bruyne to score twice, Phil Foden to score, Bernardo Silva, and maybe Rodri as well. So I'm going to go for Man City 5, Burnley nil. That has always been when these two clubs face each other, and that is how it's going to end. So maybe Burnley don't that scoreline, but listen, they need to realize it's a difficult game. It's at the Etihad, and Man City are still unbeaten at the Etihad. So yeah, I'm seeing this being like a huge and absolute domination for Man City against Spurs. So I'm going to go for 5-0 for that game on Wednesday. And then another big game, well not really big, but it's a huge game in the London derby, and it's at the White Hart Lane, and it's Tottenham versus Brentford. Now Tony is back, but James Madison is back for Tottenham because he came off the bench, after getting that injury when Tottenham faced Chelsea at White Hart Lane. So yeah, when these two faced each other, it was 2-2. And Tottenham played really good football that time, and they could have won. They really could have won at the end, but they blew it. So yeah, this game is at White Hart Lane. Now the thing is that since Ivan Toney's back, I want to go for Brentford win. But since Tottenham are trying to really get their players back, the likes of like Yves Bissouma, James Madison, who else? And I think that's it. No, actually, no, Yves Bissouma is in AFCON and Son Heung-min. So, but yeah, Mickey Van der Ven is back and James Madison is back. So, listen, it's going to be a tight game. So, I wanted to go for Brentford win because of Ivan Toney. But since Tottenham players, especially James Madison, is back, I feel like James Madison will be the man of the match, and he will get a goal and an assist if he starts. If he doesn't, it's going to be somebody else. But yeah, for that game, I'm going to go for 2-1 to Tottenham. Because, like I said, it's a London derby in North London, North versus West London at White Hart Lane. So it's going to be a tight one. But I believe Tottenham is going to win that game. And the crazy thing is that if Tottenham win, and Arsenal and Aston Villa don't, I believe Tottenham will be on the same points as Man City, Arsenal, and Villa. So Tottenham need to win that game if they want to be back in the titleways and perhaps finish in the top four. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 2-1. The goal scores I'm gonna go for with Charlison and also James Madison since he's back. For Brentford, I'm gonna go for Ivan Toney. That's it. That's gonna be the only goal scorer for that game for Brentford. So yeah, 2-1 to Tottenham. It's going to be my prediction for that game on Wednesday. And then, like I said earlier, a huge game, one of the big games, yeah, in the Premier League. The game is at Anfield, 8:50 p.m. kickoff. I'm not sure why they did that. I would have it like 8 p.m. I'm not sure why they're doing this, but oh well. It's Liverpool versus Chelsea. Both of them clash at Anfield. Yeah, like I said before, when these two clubs face each other in the last 7 games, it's been draws. If including the Carabao Cup final, which will be facing each other in about a month's time, and the FA Cup. And unfortunately, 2 years ago, Liverpool won on penalties that time. So listen, but when it comes to the league, in the last 7 games, it's been draws. Like the last time, which that Chelsea beat Liverpool in the Premier League was in March 2021. That's when Mason Mount scored that brilliant goal, kept a clean sheet, and that's it. And the last time that Liverpool beat Chelsea in the league was in 2020 September, when Kepa made that mistake to allow Sadio Mane to score, and that was 2-0. And I've forgotten, was Trent Alexander-Arnold scoring that free kick? I can't remember, but yeah. Last time that these two teams beat each other was COVID, during COVID. But after that, it's been draws 1-1, 0-0, 2-2, 1-1, 0-0, something like that. So, and in those games, particularly last season at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea were dominating Liverpool and they should have won that game. But we were so lacking in front of goal. So listen, tonight, so on Wednesday, I want Poch, yeah, to put out that same lineup, yeah, as you did against Middlesbrough. Now, the great news is that Nkunku is returning to training, but I don't think he's going to be starting in the game against Liverpool. But we'll wait and see when I watch Pochettino's press conference tomorrow. So I'm going to be giving you guys more on that one. I'm also going to be doing the preview, so make sure you guys tune into that one. But yeah, Nkunku is back in training, but I don't think he'll start. And there's still no signs for Malo Gusto. And yeah, and also Robert Sanchez is back. But for me, Petrovic deserves to stay as number one because he can make some big saves. And let's hope that when Liverpool test him, that Petrovic can show Chelsea why he's improving and why he should be a number one. You know, he can catch balls, he can weave balls properly. His distribution is good. Sometimes it can be off, but sometimes it's good. And he's making big saves, and he has barely anything to do. But I know he'll be the basic goalkeeper on Wednesday. So there we go. But yeah, guys, like, would this game be a draw, or would this, or would one team win? Because if Liverpool beat Chelsea, then they're back in top. But if Liverpool don't beat Chelsea, which I know that Man City, Arsenal, Villa, and Tottenham were hoping and praying for, because I know they'll be watching that game. If Liverpool don't win, then this title race can be on, and one and all of those teams, like I mentioned, will be 2 points. Yeah, potentially 2 points or maybe 3 points behind Liverpool. So there we go. So I'm hoping them. So I know the rivals will be hoping that Chelsea can do something, but all you have to do is pray. All you have to do is pray, because I believe Liverpool will win. But if you want me to be honest, I can see this being another draw. So I'm going to go for 1-1. And the goals go for me. I'm going to go for Palmer because he loves scoring goals. In all competitions. For Liverpool, um, I'm gonna go for maybe Luis Diaz because he always likes scoring in big games, or maybe even Jota, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 1-1 for both Liverpool and Chelsea on a Wednesday night. So huge game, like I said, match preview tomorrow, live watch along, and a match reaction. So you guys don't want to miss any of that one. It is going to be huge. And then the final one on a Thursday night, we've got West Ham United versus AFC Bournemouth. Now, of course, Bournemouth have been absolutely flying. West Ham, they were out against Bristol City, but Bournemouth have absolutely destroyed Swansea City by 5 goals to nil, and those 5 goals here were in the first half. And before I continue, I like to say, Maidstone United, what a shock! 96 places below Ipswich Town, yeah, non-league, yeah, up against away to Ipswich at Preston Road, and they beat them 2-1. And who would have thought this? I didn't, because Ipswich Town have a good record at home. But Manchester United, honestly, like this, why you just love the FA Cup, because it's the manager of it. It could just bring you shocks. It could just do that. So honestly, well done to Manchester United. So they're through to 1-5. So there you go. But anyway, back to this one. Bournemouth, yeah, they beat Swansea City. Now, listen, Bournemouth are doing well, but the big question is, would this benefit them? Because West Ham didn't play a game since was it about 2 weeks ago or something like that? Yes, it was about a week ago. So listen, West Ham didn't play during the week. Bournemouth did, and when players we get when if teams get West, they have a big advantage. So for this game, since this game is at the London Stadium, I see this not being like a West Ham United win. So for this game, I'm gonna go for. It's so difficult, but I'm gonna go for 3-1 to West Ham, or maybe 3-0. Actually, no, West Ham do kept a clean sheet apart from Sheffield United the last time they were at home. Yeah, I'm gonna go for 3-0 West Ham United. I'm gonna go for 3-0. Um, because even without Kundus, West Ham, they're in the European stages and they really want to close the gap on the Champions League. So they need to win on Thursday. So I'm gonna go for 3-0. The goal scores, I'm gonna go for Jared Bowen. Um, who else? Jared Bowen. Oh yeah, James Ward-Prowse as well, and Paqueta. Actually, no, Calvin Phillips potentially because West Ham signed him about a week ago, so maybe he could score on his debut. I'm not quite sure, but that's my predicted goal scores for that game on Thursday. So yeah, 3-0 to West Ham United at the London Stadium. And finally, last and not least, it's Wolves versus Manchester United. Another really big game. Now, of course, Manchester United, you know, even though they went through, that performance yesterday was absolutely embarrassing. Don't like, I'm not going to disrespect Newport, but they're in League Two and Man United are in the Premier League. I mean, honestly, if Man United don't continue to struggle teams in the Championship and all that stuff, I don't believe that Everton Hog or Man United win a trophy like they did last season. Especially being in the final, if you know what I mean. So, listen, of course, Wolves won got that huge win against West Brom, which they haven't done in so many years since that Black Country derby. And I have to tell you, after that second goal, I mean, honestly, that was a fiery derby. Like, I wish I did a live watch along, but unfortunately, I was so busy. But I did watch the game, and I tell you guys, I mean, I saw the like a video of what happened yesterday, and there was this one bald guy who had blood on his face, and I thought that wasn't real, but it looks like it was. Like there were lots of fighting, that the police were just going to the fans and just hitting them with platoon. I'm telling you, I mean, I've never ever seen this in English club. The last time I seen this happening was Argentina against Brazil, which happened about 2 months ago, and that was a huge fight. That was the last time, but in English football, I've never seen that before. So the fact that it happened in a huge game yesterday in the Black Country Derby, honestly, like, could that derby be like the biggest one in English football history? With the fight. And the reason why that happens because after Wolves scored the second goal, there was one Wolves fan that was near the West Brom fans, and while they're celebrating, the West Brom fans didn't like it, and they were having a go, and that was when the fight just broke loose. So there we go. So the police and the FA had to investigate and ask them, is the game going to restart on 45 minutes? Would we start in the 77th minute, or this game be postponed and cancelled? They decide to give it another go and hoping that doesn't happen again. So, but yeah, Wolves are full. They beat their they beat their faces rivals West Brom 2-0 at the Holthams in Birmingham, and they got the job done. So both Manchester United and Wolves um win the round five of the FA Cup. Now, listen, when these two face each other, I feel like Wolves, yeah, should have won. Yeah, they should have won because they've dominated Manchester United. There's so many chances, and let's not forget, Onana was very lucky not to get a yellow card and not to allow Wolves to get that penalty because that was 100% a penalty. The way I forgot who player that was. The player headed it, got the ball, and then Anana just slammed him on his face and went down. To me, that was a penalty. The referee didn't give it. VR checked on that, said that's not a penalty. So to me, I thought Wolves got robbed, and I can't blame you. The manager was is fuming about the PGMOL, and you have to feel sorry for them because once the decisions have not been their way. They really haven't. So I just really hope that Wolves against Manchester United on Thursday night will not happen again. So there we go. Now for me, I want to go for Manchester United to win, but this game is up money you, and let's not forget that Wolves have done well against big teams at home. On Christmas Eve, they beat Chelsea 2-1. They beat Tottenham 2-1. They nearly would have beaten Liverpool, but in the second half, they just fell off a pitch. They beat Manchester City. And yeah, so listen, my first one is that Manchester United are going to win this game 1-0 because that's what they've always been. But since the fact that they've been struggling, and guess what? If Manchester United don't win and Chelsea do, that means Chelsea will be above them on 8. And if Brighton also don't win, Chelsea will go from ninth to 7th. That'll beat the Europa Conference League. So listen, I want Chelsea to win, to beat Liverpool and make sure that Brighton and Manchester United don't win as well. So that's going to be my prayer for those games. So yeah. So for this game, um, I think Wolves are going to get that win. I'm going to go for the same score line as they did against Chelsea, Tottenham, Manchester City. I'm going to go for 2-1. For Manchester United, I think the only goal scorer, I'm going to go for maybe Rashford Højlund. For Wolves, I'm not sure who the goal scorer is, but I believe they will get revenge, on Manchester United. And yeah, I mean, Wolves don't have a really good record against Manchester United in the league, but I feel like this time they will definitely do it and they'll get revenge. And let's hope the VR get rules, the right decision, because if they don't, then honestly, I don't know what's going wrong with VR, the people wanting it and PGMOL, but let's just hope they fixed it. So there we go. But yeah, I'm going to go for 2-1 Wolves. I feel like they will get revenge on Manchester United. And seeing this game is up money, it's a difficult place to go to, especially for big teams. I feel like they will get to drop jump. So I'm going to go for Wolves 2, Manchester United 1, and that's going to be my final prediction for that game. All right, guys. So that is all my predictions for Gaming 22. Let me go for them one more time. So Tuesday nights, I've gone for Arsenal to beat Forest 2-0. I've gone for Fulham to beat Everton 1-0. I've gone for Luton Town to beat Brighton 2-1 at Kettenham Road. I've gone for Crystal Palace to beat Sheffield United 3-1 at Selhurst Park. And then the big game, hopefully it's a 5-goal Villa, because my prediction is 3-2 to Villa against Newcastle at Villa Park. On Wednesday nights, I've gone for Man City 5-0 thrashing against Burnley. I've gone for Tottenham to win 2-1 against Brentford in London Derby. Then I've gone for 1-1 draw between Chelsea and Liverpool at Anfield, because that award has been always in the Premier League for the last 7 games. And then on Thursday, I've gone for a West Ham 3-0 win against Bournemouth. And last and not least, I've gone for Wolves to beat Manchester United 2-1 at Monaco. So that is it, guys. That is all my payment predictions for game week number 22. So, guys, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you to all of you that watched this video. And if you did enjoy it, let me know in the comments down below. And also click the bell notification, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget, if you're new, it's a subscribe button below, the bell notification, so that I never miss the preview for tomorrow and a live watch along and match reaction for Liverpool versus Chelsea at Anfield on a Wednesday night. So make sure you guys don't miss any of that one. And also make sure you tag anybody and share this video to everybody, so that they can go over, so that they will let me know in the comments where they agree or disagree, and what changes will they make for the for the prediction. So if you guys can share this video to everybody, they are welcome to my YouTube channel, and they also can give their predictions in the comments down below as well. All right, guys. So that is my prediction for this week's game week. Looking forward to it. And the big one is on a Wednesday night, Liverpool versus Chelsea at Anfield. So will Chelsea or Liverpool win, or will this game end in a draw like it always been over the last 7 days before this game? So we have to wait and see. All right, guys. So enjoy the rest of the games. Have a great week, and I'll catch you guys again very soon. As always, take care. Goodbye. God bless. Big up your damn selves, and I'm out of here. Peace.